Hey, this is McGarren Flack. I'm just gonna demonstrate how to bracket or create accurate values according to the Munsell system. So this is the student version of the Munsell chart. Costs like $100, but really beneficial. Has some exercises in the back of it. Then I also have some other materials. This is titanium white, Griffin Alkyd titanium white. It's fast drying, so that's why I got that guy. Here we also have the Winsor Newton Ivory Black, which is right here, and Raw Umber by Gamblin. Again, it doesn't really matter about the manufacturers with these three colors, but Ivory Black is like a blue, and the Raw Umber is more of an orange. So when you mix the two together, it will make a good neutral. So as you can see here on the value scale, black, which is value 1, all the way to value 9, which is considered to be white. So with the titanium white, Ivory Black is more of a blue, and burnt umber is more of an orange. With those two mixed together, it makes a good neutral. This is just a swatch that I'm going to put the paint on. It is canvas paper, and this is acetate and a palette knife. That's basically all we need to be able to figure out what value we're going to create. So here I'm going to create a value 5 first. And what I have done with this, on the back of it, I don't know if you can see it too much, but there's a little shiny substance. That is museum wax that I put on the back of it. It allows you to be able to re-adhere the pieces to your page and remove them, and it's pH adhesive, so it won't destroy your paint chips. So that's a good alternative. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to match value 5 here with the Munsell, so value 5. And I'm gonna use these guys to make that mix. Now, best thing to do if you're going to make a specific value is there's a mantra, and the mantra should say, what is the hue, meaning the color of the color. So what is the hue that I'm gonna pick? Because I'm just doing gray, there really isn't any hue. It's void of hue. And then what is the value? So is it really black 1 or really white, going to a 9 or a 9.5? And then what is the chroma? The chroma is how saturated that color is. Because I'm just doing this value, I'm going to bracket it and make a cooler version of the same value and a warmer version of the same value, and then mix them together to be able to match it. And I'm going to use this acetate film to be able to find that matching. Now, with my current setup, I have northern light that's coming in from over there. Northern light that's coming across here and at about a 45-degree angle. So if I hold this flat against the surface, I will be able to, in theory, get a good likeness. So let's just jump into it and show you how to do this stuff. So I'm going to take it and shift it over here. Now my palette is just, it's called Alumilite. It's aluminum with a glossy protective covering. And I should be able to use some of my mineral spirits to clean the surface off. If not, it's gonna get a little bit dirty, and that's perfectly fine. Palettes, usually you wanna get something that is toned gray. A lot of people will get glass and put a gray backing underneath it so that they can see all of their value ranges, because white can kind of distract it. You can tell that this white is more white and warmer than the white on this surface. It's a little bit cooler of a surface, just like this is a little bit warmer and lighter in value for this chip that we're going to use. All right, so on to the bracketing. I'm going to take some of the black and some of the white. Put that off to the side a little bit, go with more white. Now titanium white, especially this Griffin titanium white, is not very strong of a color. So that means you have to use a lot of it to get a good value structure. It's semi-transparent. So you can see I did about 50-50, and here it's a much darker value, like a value 3, and I need to get to the value 5, so I'm gonna go with more. And how you mix these don't really make too much of a difference. Just quickly mix it and you'll have it. So we're getting closer to the value, and you can see how much colder this value is than the value over here. Now you might be thinking, wait a second, Flack, why the crap are you doing these two colors and getting them up to the right value? It's good practice because in the future when you're trying to match colors, using this bracketing method is really, really beneficial. You'll get multiple colors at the same value, which is really important. So if I take this gray and we're gonna put it on the acetate here, the key with putting it on the acetate is you want it to be kind of flat and not transparent in it. So we're gonna match it here, see how that looks. So squint down, you can see that there's a line between the value that I put and the value on the tag, so it's still a bit too dark. Still a bit too dark. Now there's other titanium white that it doesn't dry as quick as this because it's oil-based, but it is not as transparent as this white, so its tinting power is a lot better. So let's just take some of this and test it out. So if I squint down and look at that, they look really, really close. It might be just a little bit too dark still, and I can add some more white, but it's really close. Okay, now it's gone too light. Do you see how it's too light in value? So if I go the difference between this and this value, I should be spot on. It's a little bit too light still, subtly, but it's so close to being there. Now if I squint down and look at the value transitions between the two, it looks really, really close. This is a little bit more warm or orange than this, but that's gonna be my value right there. Now I do the same thing with umber. This time I'm gonna take just a little bit because I know the white will go a long way. All right, so now I'm gonna test this out. Try to get it flat so that it's a solid value or color. Compare it to this guy. If I squint down, yeah, it basically disappears. It's a little bit light, so maybe we're in between the two. Yes, that just disappears. So you can't see too much of a value change between the two. You can see a color change, like this looks more orange than that. But I'm gonna take this value that is right here, not this, I'm gonna move it off to the side. Not this because it's too dark. We'll take this color and mix it with this color. So we'll have just a little bit of it, a lot more of the blue. Mix it together and let's see what it looks like. Snap, that is freaking awesome. Did you see that? Freaking awesome. Okay, so I'm looking at it and it looks like just maybe a little bit too cool, but the value is really, really close. So I'm gonna take just a little bit more of the orange, mix it in with the blue to warm it up just a little bit more. Okay, it went just a little bit too warm. So I need to have more of these cooler values put in here. So the important part of bracketing like this, having a cooler version of the same value and a warmer version of the same value, is so that you can push and pull between the two. If you just mix one big section and add a little bit of this or a little bit of that, it's really hard to navigate. But if you bring everything up to the same value and test it out, it will go much quicker and you'll have better success. All right, that's it. Perfection. So here we have value 5, and we used Ivory Black with Raw Umber and Titanium White, and we were able to create that. If I were to use a lead white, I would get similar things. It's a little bit warmer, so you would use less of the umber and more of the ivory because it's a colder color. So that's how you bracket and how you mix your colors for that value. I'm going to take this paint chip and I'm going to create a value 5 paint chip with it so that I can have it forevermore. And I will label this at the bottom so that I know that it's a value 5 paint chip. All right, hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, put your questions down below so that I can answer them, because this is really important practice. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a stellar day.